Hello and welcome to Hashtag Friday Sews. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer and today is episode 5 for me of Hashtag Friday Sews, where I talk about what I did last week and what I plan to do next week. So if you'd like to catch up, please stay tuned. Alright, so those of you who have followed me thus far, I showed you this prototype, this toile bonnet that I made from my 1907 vintage pattern. And I did continue to work on it and made a second view that has the pleated ruffle. It turned out really beautifully. It was a lot easier the second time around, of course, and I'm sure you know that for yourself, that when you make a garment the second time around, it's often a lot easier. So anyway, I did use my ruffle foot on my 1948 Singer. Before I did, I finished with an edge stitch on my serger all the way around the piece that was to be pleated, and then I had to hand fold each ruffle and do a really good job of pressing, but it turned out just so beautifully. And I added a pink ribbon this time, and I'm just so pleased with it. Now what I plan to do is to continue working on this pattern. There are 2 views, and you can see the difference in the size of the back of these. So this is view 1 and this is view 2. But for each view, there is a ruffled pattern, a ruffled brim, or you can have a pleated brim. It looks a little bit different. And then with this one, the pleated brim, but then there's also a ruffled one. So I do want to make all 4 views, and then I am going to try to digitize the pattern and make that available on my Etsy site. So that's what I'll be working on in the coming weeks. I was digging through my patterns and I found a Ziploc bag with my old bonnet and bloomers pattern, and I found these little diaper covers or bloomers that I had made probably 15-20 years ago that I used to sell on eBay way back in the day. So anyway, I forgot I even had them, so I'm going to gift those. And then I had a cutout pattern for a pair of bigger bloomers, so I went ahead and finished that. And I think I'll just gift these. I don't have any need for them right now, and honestly, I don't want to keep hoarding and carrying this stuff with me. Every time we move, I just keep packing this stuff and carrying it. I'm going to gift it, and I'll probably gift it along with this little pillowcase dress that I made last week. I was looking through my stash, found this much material right here, and I said, well, that would make a cute pillowcase dress. And my girls are not juveniles anymore, and you know, they're not interested in anything made out of this type of material. But I have a good friend at church who has a little granddaughter, and she would call this her cupcake dress because she can't say cupcakes. But I thought it would be really cute, and maybe with the bloomers to go underneath for modesty's sake would be a sweet little gift. And then I would feel better too about moving these things along. You know, I'm doing a declutter, finishing up UFOs, and like I just really want to give it away or finish it or get it going. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do. So I went to Joann's last week, which I have found is dangerous because I ended up spending a lot of money. I went in there to get batting for my quilt that I'm working on. I showed you guys the quilt in last week's video, and I had about 7 or 8 more strips to sew, which I sewed those, and I added them to the strips that I already had, so now I've got a queen size quilt. Went to Joann's to get batting and backing. The backing was like $4 a yard, I think, and that was a good deal. I needed 7 yards and I used almost every bit of it. The backing was like $50, which was really surprising to me, but it is very good quality. And the price of the batting is because, okay, so I got interrupted. Where was I? So the price of the batting was about $50, which was very shocking to me. But it is based on the quality, and also for the quilting, the distance that you can go between quilting. So you could get a 4-inch spacing that was a lot cheaper, but because my quilt is a tied quilt, I had to get the 10-inch. Now my ties are every 6 inches. And do you know what I mean by tied quilt? I'm sure those of you who are quilters, I'm not actually quilting the quilt, I'm just tying it. So once we got the layers put together and basted, then my daughter, she helped me, thank goodness, or it would have taken forever. But we took embroidery floss, and every 6 inches we made a tack, basically, you know, down and back up and tie it and then trim it. So every 6 inches you'll see the embroidery floss tied, and I think it really fits with kind of the confetti toss title of the quilt. And so you can see it's unfinished. This week what I'm going to do is I had the backing big enough so that I can fold it over and stitch it down and trim it out and finish it up. It should not take me very long, and I'm so proud of myself for pushing. And I'd like to say again, thanks to #FridaySews for giving me the motivation that I needed at this time in my life when I needed it most. And here I'll say thank you to Jen, who created the hashtag. She's at Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and the link to her channel will be below. All right, so the quilt is very close to being complete, and I plan to complete it this week. Now, while I was at Joann's, I succumbed to temptation. I had all 4 of my girls with me. And so they had a pattern sale, $1.99 for simplicity. That was awesome. So I'm like, girls, very rare, you know, do we get to just go in and choose patterns? So why don't all of you go and choose a $1.99 pattern? So my oldest daughter, she's got her own funds. She bought 2 retro patterns, one with the like 1940s looking coveralls and a pretty apron. And the rest of the girls, well, one of my girls didn't choose anything. She's the sculptor. She chose some paints and things to paint her sculptures that she makes. When you go to Joann's and they're having a $1.99 sale on their patterns, that's great. Take advantage of it, right? So I did. I was like, I want a blouse. And so I found this simplicity pattern. It is number 6. No, this is not simplicity. Sorry, this one's new look. It was like $3, I think, or $3.99. 64.34. New look. I am going to make this style blouse, but I did not buy scalloped material. I don't necessarily have to have the scallop, but I do like this view. So I can adapt this to make these sleeves. I love 3/4 sleeves. And the material that I got to make that, I actually let my girls pick it out for me. This is a 100% cotton, but it's has a little bit of stretch to it. Not a lot, but it's soft and lightweight. It's got little flowers on it like daisies, so I'm looking forward to making that for myself. Maybe not next week, but soon. And then my other daughter, I have 4 daughters, so I always say my daughter. Maybe I'll introduce them to you one day. But she chose Simplicity, and it's the R11523. Not for maternity. This daughter is 15 and she loved this one. So that is the dress that I'm going to be making for her, and I'm actually going to make this one for her before I start on sewing for myself. So I am looking forward to doing that. And she chose this 96% cotton, 4% spandex. Beautiful, looks kind of like a waterfall maybe. I'm not sure what the name is. When I go fabric shopping and there's a bolt, I always take a picture of the end of the bolt that has what the material is and the care for that, so I'll have a record of that. So I'll pop that here so you can see what it is. But anyway, it's so super soft. It is very stretchy, and it was not cheap. It was normally $17.99 a yard, but they did have it 40% off, so that was good. And we needed a lot for that long dress. So anyway, I look forward to making this for her. I haven't sewn a dress for my girls in about 5 years, so I'm really happy to be doing this for them. Once I'm finished with my quilt, that's my next project. So my second oldest girl chose this pattern, Simplicity 8051, and I think this view right here, we haven't chosen the material, but we're looking for red, bright red. She likes the 50s look, and I think we might have bought the wrong size pattern. This one, the bust goes to 50 and the waist to 44. And she's a plus size girl, so I think she actually picked the wrong pattern, which is too bad. So next time I'm in there, I'll just grab the size up. But I will keep this because I like this view myself, and I think one of my other girls will probably really like to have that one too. Now my 15-year-old that chose the other dress, she went a little crazy. She said, "What about this one, Mom? Simplicity 8637. And you know, the same style, the V. She likes the little, which one? The little sleeves here. The thing about this one, you can see the cutaway in the back. Are you going to be able to see that? The back goes up high on this one, so I really like that. The front has this, and you can see it here, this fold over, which is very feminine and beautiful. So we haven't picked fabric for this one, but it's on our list. And then she picked this one. What about Simplicity 9327? So this one, I love this view right here. The thing I do not like about it that I didn't notice till we got home is the back view. The back dips down in a V, and she's not going to like that, and I'm not going to like that. So what I'll do is use the back from the other pattern so that it's high in the back. And I love this. I think this is a cotton gauze maybe, so I'm hoping to find, not pink, that's not her favorite color, but maybe light blue. So anyway, she had a really good time picking dress patterns, and that'll keep me busy for quite some time, and I'll share those things with you as I move forward. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I'd like to thank, again, all my new subscribers. Since I have joined #FridaySews, I went from 300 subscribers to 400 plus. And I'm just so thankful to get to know you ladies and that you've decided to subscribe. And if there's anything that you would like to know or see in future videos, just drop me a comment and let me know. You might notice one thing a little different today, and that is I borrowed my son's lighting. He plays piano and he records, so he has some really good lighting, and I'm like, hey, can I borrow your lighting? My lighting is terrible in my closet. Sure, Mom, go ahead. So I'm not sure how this is going to look, but you know, it is a little warmer, or at least maybe it just is warm in my closet. So, but I can't turn a fan on because it would be too loud. Anyway, now I'm rambling. All right, thanks for watching. See you next week.